Aloha! Welcome to Live Yoga Channel. Good morning. Welcome back. We are in the healing valley of Manoa on the beautiful island of Oahu. I'm Terra. This is Evan, and we began this channel in 2020 as a way to share in our love for a classical hatha practice. So, find your comfortable seat on your mat and let's go ahead and get started. We'll roll our shoulders up and back, find a comfortable seat, and plug those sits bones into the earth. Cross-legged so that you have ease. Go ahead and take your palms to your knees, face up, thumb and first finger together. Go ahead and allow the eyes to soften, close, and begin to draw your awareness to the breath as it moves in and out of the nostrils. Give yourself permission for this next hour and a few minutes to keep your focus here on your breath. Understanding that the mind may wander, there may be times that you're loving what we're doing or you're hoping to move through it more quickly. And I will continue to remind us to move back to focusing on the breath. Let that be our engagement, our communication from our body, whether we can comfortably move further or back off some. Listen to your body, this is your journey. Go ahead and allow the eyes to open, and we'll get started with a round of Kapalabhati. So this is skull shining breath, and how we'll do this is the forceful exhalation through the nose and a passive inhalation to follow. So as you exhale forcefully, you'll simultaneously draw the belly button back towards the spine. So we'll be doing more of like a pumping with the breath. All right, so go ahead and inhale, exhale, 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 exhale. Keep going. Exhale, 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 all the breath. Inhale, half lung of air. Kumbha, breath retention. Press your hands into your thighs, drop your chin into your chest. Pull your belly button back to the spine and up. Hold the breath for as long as is comfortable in your body. With your eyes closed, take your inner gaze up towards your eyebrow center. This is called Shambhali Mudra. When you need the breath, simply release the hold, sip in a bit more oxygen through the nose. Exhale slowly. Let the breath return to normal. Next, let's move to yoga for the eyes. If you have glasses on like me, go ahead and move those. We'll keep the head and neck center, open the eyes, look forward. Let's move only the eyes. Inhale. As you exhale, look down, look up, look down, look up, look down, look up, center. Another breath in. Exhale, look far right, far left, far right, far left, far right, far left, center. Another breath in. Exhale, look down, far right, look up, far left, look down, center. Another breath in. Exhale, look down, far left, look up, far right, look down, center. Beautiful. Now instead of stretching the eyes, we're going to focus the eyes. Tratakan. Take your right hand out about shoulder height, not too high, not too low. Take your gaze. Take your first fingertip up towards the sky, and then take your gaze past your fingertip. Bring your gaze to your fingertip, and then gently begin to bend the elbow and draw the finger towards your nose. Keep your gaze at your fingertip, doing your best not to blink. Take it back out slowly. When the elbow is straight, Look past the finger. Take your gaze back to your fingertip. Slowly draw your finger towards your nose. Back out slowly, no blinking. When the elbow is straight, look past the finger. No hard and fast rules. Go ahead, inhale. Slowly, last time, bring the finger towards the nose. Keep your gaze at your fingertip. The elbow is straight, look past the fingers. Release your hands. Let's build some heat, some healing prana. Something happened with your camera. It's like manual light. So we're going to build the heat in our hands. Take the right hand over the right eye. Take the left palm over the left eye. Do your best to not let any ray of light in between your fingers. And breathe slowly through the nostrils, sending healing energy to our beautiful eyes. We take in so much screen time these days. Go ahead and release your hands. Replace your glasses if you have. Let's take our hands together, interlace them, press the palms away, and then take them up overhead. Stretch through the side body, press those palms up towards the ceiling. Lengthen. Feel the breath all along the ribs. Just elongate, expand and contract. With the middle of your tongue pressing up against the roof of the mouth gently. Feel a slight constriction in the back of your throat, the epiglottis, inviting the ujjayi breath, ocean-like breath. Throughout our practice today, let's listen to the symphony of our breath. And if we're constricted in the breath, that means back off. Again, this is your practice. So go ahead and release your hands out in front. Backs of the palms to touch. Please take the right palm over the left, interlace your hands. We're going to draw our hands in towards the body and then back out again to your degree. Everybody's different and this can change from day to day. Maybe you can go a quarter of the way, maybe you can go halfway, maybe you can go all the way. We're stretching, warming up from our fingertips, our wrists, elbows, all the way up to the shoulders for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come back to center. We're going to switch sides, honoring that we may feel completely different on this side. Take your time. Bring your palms back out to your degree. Breathing slowly here. Take your hands back in towards your body, shake it out. Let's extend the legs out in front of us into Dandasana, staff pose, also known as stick pose. The toes are pointing up towards the heavens. We're sitting tall. You can take your hands to your sides for support. We're going to do toe cranks, moving only our toes forward and back. For 1, release, 2, release, 3, release, 4, release, 5, release, 6, and hold. Release. Let's cross the right leg over the left and do yoga for the toes. So just like we interlaced our fingers, we're going to take 1 toe, interlace it, 2 toes, 3 toes is magnificent. Maybe you can even get 4 toes. Do your best, have some fun with it. When you get to where you can, go ahead and squeeze the big toes, all the toes. What we're doing is we're warming up the nerve endings from the tip of the toes all the way up to the sciatica. And let's go ahead and release. We'll switch sides. And if this is super challenging, just keep a positive mind and see yourself doing this. The spirit of the yogis, we say maybe next week, maybe next month. Have some fun with it. Feels inspired. And then squeeze. and release. Extend both of our legs out and let's move up. We're gonna, okay, everybody's safe. That was a tree branch falling into the stream. We're gonna move forward and back with just our ankles. For 1, release, 2, release, 3, release, 4, release, 5, release, 6, and hold. Let's make circles with our ankles clockwise. 3, 4, 5, 6, opposite direction. 6, beautiful. Warming up the knees. So bend the left knee in towards the chest. Grab onto your elbows underneath. Sit tall, and then let's make circles. First clockwise. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, opposite direction. 3, 4, 5, 6. Extend that leg out in front. We're going to switch sides, sit tall. We'll make circles first one way. 3, 4, 5, 6, opposite direction. 6, extend out in front of you. Let's come up to the front of the mat. We'll take the right leg in, take the right ankle in towards the left thigh, take the left ankle on the outside of the left thigh, and then begin to walk your body back. And this is to your degree. Everybody's different. Perhaps just walking your arms back is plenty. You can feel a nice elongation here in the front of the left thigh. Perhaps you can come down onto your forearms and let your head drop back. Maybe you can even come all the way down onto your spine and draw your arms up overhead. Allow yourself to breathe slowly here. For 3, 2, and 1. We'll take our hands back down by our sides. Inhale, help the body up slowly. We're going to switch to the other side. Again, honoring that we may feel more flexible or less flexible on this side. And we're honoring our communication from our body. So walk your body back. See where you are today. And then breathe long and slow through the nose. For 3, 2, and 1. Take your hands back down by your side. Help the body up. And then we're going to find our way up to the front of our mat. Standing pose. Feet together, knees together. Roll the shoulders up and down. Back down by the spine. This is our first standing pose. Simply allow, go ahead and as you feel balanced, go ahead and allow your eyes to close. Just feel yourself standing, whether you're on the 14th floor or on the earth yourself. Just become gently aware of gravity, this force of gravity that every one of us experience. It helps us to ground and stay rooted on this planet as we circulate the sun. Each of us receive gifts from the mighty sun. And we'll next move into Surya Namaskar, paying respects to the sun and the gifts that we receive. So feeling grateful as we're standing here on our mat, on planet Earth, as we circulate the sun in the Milky Way galaxy. In our beautiful solar system in the Milky Way galaxy. Go ahead and inhale deeply. Open the eyes. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer position at the heart. Inhale, take your arms up overhead. Look up and look back. Exhale, hinge at the waist, fold forward. Now this is our first forward fold. Please, no overstretching. If you need to keep your knees a little bent because the backs of the legs feel tight, by all means do so. Let the head hang heavy. Perhaps you can take your hands to your shins. Maybe you can bring your hands to the backs of your ankles. Perhaps you have the privilege to bring your fingertips all the way to the floor. Bring the weight towards the balls of the feet so that the backs of the legs are long. Your sits bones are up towards the heavens. Drop your chin towards your chest. Let the top of the head hang heavy towards the floor. And simply breathe. Maybe you have the privilege to bring your palms down to the earth, and you can turn your wrists around and put your fingers backwards towards your ankles. Notice with each breath, the body opens up a little bit more. Inhale, inspire. Exhale, release. Take your fingertips forward. Bend the knees slightly. We'll take the left leg back. Step back, drop to the knee, the top of the left foot. We're going to inhale our shoulders up and back as we lunge into that front right leg. Ashwashan Shalanasana. Keep the right knee in towards the midline of the body. Take your heart up towards the heavens. Take your gaze up. Let your arms hang down by your sides. And to your degree, look up on the ceiling and as far back as is comfortable. Breathing steadily here. Release your hands back to the mat. Tuck the toes. Exhale, send the right leg back. Parvokonasana. Now in the West we call this downward facing dog. In the East, where our teachers from the Himalayas, they refer to this as mountain pose. The body's shaped like a mountain. We're going to press our heels towards the ground. Press evenly into all four corners of your palms. Lift your sits bones up towards the sky. Feel the length all along the back body. Let your head hang heavy. Draw your inner elbows to look at one another. Roll the shoulder blades down the back so that the inner armpits are facing one another. It's okay if your heels don't reach the ground. See if you can press both heels evenly towards the earth. Long, slow breaths. The bottom of your next exhalation, we're going to drop to our knees, chest, and chin. Ashtanga Namaskar. We've got 2 feet, 2 knees, 2 hands, your chest and chin. 8-limb pose. Take your gaze down your nostrils. Keep the elbows in close. I like to come up onto my fingertips here, so there's a nice space in between our belly and the floor. Getting a nice warming up the upper back. Bring your hands to the earth. Allow your belly to come down to the earth. And as we inhale, everybody will come into Sphinx. So bring your forearms onto the mat. We're warming up here still. Take your chest through your forearms. Take your gaze up towards the ceiling. The butt and the feet are soft. So the tops of the feet are on the mat. Your legs are long. You're looking up towards the heavens. Your breath is slow. Exhale. Begin to release. Draw your hands back down underneath of your shoulders. Tuck your toes. As you inhale, press into your palms. Lift your hips back up and away, returning to mountain pose. Let's inhale through the nostrils. Exhale, open the mouth, let all the breath out. Keep the breath out And then move the navel center up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. We're massaging all of the digestive organs, the liver, the pancreas, the intestines. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Go ahead and relax the navel center. Let your breath return to normal. Let's take the left foot in between the hands. Drop the right knee in the top of the right foot as we inhale our shoulders up and back and lunge into that front left knee, Shalanasana. So again, taking that left knee in towards the midline of the body for balance as we lunge and awaken the pelvis, hips. Take the chest up towards the heavens. Take your gaze up as far back on the ceiling behind you. Breathing slowly here. Return your hands to the mat. Tuck the back toes. We're going to exhale. Bring the right foot up to meet the left. Drop the head as we return to forward fold. We'll stay here a few breaths. Perhaps now, the body's starting to warm up. Perhaps now you can bring your fingertips to the earth. Or if you're at your shins, maybe you can take your hands to the backs of your ankles. To your degree. Bend the knees gently. Inhale, bring the hands together all the way up overhead. Look up and back. Exhale, bring the hands through prayer position at the heart. Release your hands to the side. Take a nice cleansing breath in through the nose. Exhale slowly. Let's do the same thing on the other side, this time moving with breath. Inhale deeply, open the eyes. Exhale, bring the hands to prayer position at the heart. Inhale, take the arms up overhead, look up and back. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees, take the right leg back, drop to the top of the right foot and the right knee. Inhale, Shalanasana. Release your hands, tuck the toes. Exhale, Parvakonasana. Bottom of the exhalation, hold out the breath, drop to the knees, chest and chin. Inhale. Exhale, release. Drop your belly. Take your hands to the mat. Inhale, take your gaze up. Find your cobra or your sphinx. Release your hands, tuck the toes. Press back, exhale. Mountain pose. Take your right foot in between your hands. Drop to the knee and the top of the left foot as we inhale. Shalanasana on the other side. Release your hands back to the mat, tuck the toes. Exhale the left leg up to meet the right. Forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead, look up and back. Exhale, hands through, heart center. Release your hands to the side. Allow your eyes to soften. Return your awareness to the breath as it moves in and out of the nostrils. Notice the body's starting to warm up here. And in your mind's eye, that space between your eyebrow center. Let's remember the last most beautiful moon in the night sky that you've seen. Perhaps you've seen it growing. We're moving towards a full moon this week. Yogis, we practice honoring the moon and all that impacts on life on planet Earth. So we're aware that the gravitational pull and the phases of the moon impacts the rise and fall of the oceans. All the waters on the planet has a tide based on the gravitational pull and the phases of the moon. And so we understand that as we're made up of 80% water ourselves, that our internal waters are also impacted by the phases of the moon. So we'll move through these next rounds of Chandra Namaskar, offering appreciation to the gifts from the moon, taming the mind and making the mind our very best friend. So similar to what we had been doing, changing only the 4th and 9th postures. Inhale, deeply open the eyes. Exhale, bring the hands to prayer position at the heart. Inhale, take your arms up overhead, look up and back. Exhale, fold forward, hinge at the waist. Bend the knees. Take the left leg back, drop to the knee and the top of the left foot. This time as we inhale, bring the hands through prayer position at the heart and lunge forward, and then take your arms up overhead. Crescent moon position. So we're lunging forward and then we're reaching up to the heavens. Now, depending on how your shoulders and neck feel, if you have a shoulder or neck injury, it may feel more comfortable for you to have your arms parallel, reaching through those fingertips. Take your gaze up and back. If you feel drawn to have your hands in steeple position, that's wonderful too. The goal is to draw your biceps parallel to your ears and breathe slowly. Let's release our hands back down to the mat. Tuck the toes. Exhale, send the right leg back. Parvokonasana, mountain pose. Notice that one knee wants to press back towards the wall behind you. See if you can press both knees evenly. Let your head hang heavy and let your head shake back and forth. No. Let it come to a pause. Shake your head forward and back as if you're saying yes. And let that come to a pause. We're going to drop to our knees, chest and chin, Ashtanga Namaskar. Drop the belly to the earth. Inhale. Keep your hands in close. Draw the chest up. Look up through your eyebrow center. Cobra. Tuck the toes. Press into the palms. Lift the hips back and away. Mountain pose. Take the left foot in between the hands. Drop to the top of the right knee and the top of the right foot. This time as you inhale, bring your hands through prayer position at the heart. As we take our arms overhead and lunge into that front left knee. Smile on the face. Even when it feels difficult, knowing it's only going to last for a while. And if it's challenging, breathe through it. If it's difficult and hard, back off some. Find the space that works for you. Release the hands back to the mat. Tuck the back right toes. We're going to exhale that right foot up to meet the left. Let the body forward fold. Take your hands together as we inhale all the way up overhead and back. Exhale, bring the hands through heart. Release your hands to the side. Take a nice cleansing breath in through the nose. Exhale slowly. Let the breath return to normal. Let's do the same thing on the other side, this time moving 12 postures, 12 breaths. Inhale, deeply open the eyes. Exhale, bring the hands to prayer position at the heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward, body in half. Bend the knees, right leg back. Inhale, crescent lunge position. Release your hands, tuck the toes. Exhale, Parvokonasana. The bottom of the exhalation, hold the breath out. Ashtanga Namaskar. Drop the belly to the earth. Inhale, Cobra. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, exhale. Parvokonasana. Take the right foot in between the hands, drop the knee. Inhale, crescent lunge. Release your hands. Tuck the toes, exhale. Body in half, forward fold. Hands together, inhale up overhead, look up and back. Close the posture, bring the hands to the heart. Release your hands to the side. Allow your eyes to close, take your gaze in between the eyebrow center. Breathe slowly in and out of the nostrils. Give yourself permission to scan the body. Notice simply from the beginning of class, see if you can find your heartbeat. Notice the heartbeat is a little more quick. Notice the shoulders are more balanced. Notice the hips are more even. The knees and the ankles are more in alignment. The lungs are ventilating from the lower lobes, the middle lobes, the upper lobes. The capillaries are vibrant around the toes and the fingertips. Let's move into our first asana of the day, chair pose. So go ahead and open the eyes. We'll bring our feet together, bring the knees together, bring the hands to prayer position at the heart. Take the arms up overhead, and similar to earlier, if you prefer to have your arms parallel, that's totally fine. Do what works for you. Reach, reach, reach through your fingertips, and then begin to bend the knees as if you're sitting down in a chair. To your degree, sit down a little bit more. And then sit down to your degree so that your gaze, you can look up through keep your chin parallel to the earth, but look up through your eyebrow center and keep your gaze up towards the ceiling. Draw the belly button back towards the spine so that the core is strong. Your sides are long. Sit down a little bit further. See if you can lift your toes up off the mat, just your toes. In the final pose, we're listening to the symphony of our breath for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale. Release your hands back behind you. Let's interlace the hands. Draw them back as far as you can. Exhale, fold forward. And see if you can take your hands away from your low back and draw them up towards the ceiling. Now this is going to change for everybody. It depends on how you're feeling in your shoulders today. Should feel good, and we're going to utilize this gravitational pull. If you're able to get your hands up over your head, it should feel nice and relieving. It's a beautiful counter pose to our chair pose. We're going to release the hands back to our low back, bend the knees, inhale, roll out slowly. Bring your hands back to prayer at the heart. Let's move into twisted chair. We're going to massage our inner organs. First, we're going to move to our stomach. Right. So we're going to take our right elbow. So bend the knees, and similar to what we were doing. Keep the feet together, keep the knees together, hands in heart position. Inhale. As we exhale, we're going to bend the knees. Take the left elbow on the outside of the right knee. I'm going to turn to this side. Look up. Stack your elbows, and then look down briefly to keep your balance. It's okay if you wobble. Look down briefly, and then take your gaze over your shoulder. Sit down a little further. Warming up, we're getting a nice Gentle massage to the base of the brainstem. You can stay here. You can also keep your left elbow on the outside of your right knee. Take your fingertips to the earth. Take your right hand up towards the sky. Open up the shoulder. Look up past those fingertips. You can stay here, or you can bend that elbow and take your right hand on the outside of your left hip. Perhaps you have a bind. To your degree, we're breathing slowly for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come out slowly. Bring the hands to prayer position. We're going to move to the liver. It's another hard-working internal detox organ. So this time we're going to breathe deeply through the nose. Exhale slowly. Take the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Twist. Press that elbow into your thigh. Stack the shoulders and then twist the head and neck and look up past your left shoulder. Sit down a little bit further. You can stay here. You can also take your right fingertips to the earth. Take your left fingertips up towards the heavens. Open. You can stay here, or you can bend that elbow. Find the variation that works for your body. This is your practice. For 3, 2, and 1. Inhale as we unwind and bring our hands to prayer position. Oh, that feels good. Take a few steps back on the mat. We're going to move into table series. We were just working on our chair. We having fun yet? Bring our hands through prayer. And so similar to before, whether you want to keep your hands parallel or steeple position, that works. But keep your feet and knees together. Take your arms up overhead. Reach, reach, reach. Get long. And then exhale, fold forward to a 90 degrees. So the biceps are by the ears. You're looking down onto your mat past your nose. You're reaching through your fingertips. Your core is engaged. You're drawing that belly button back towards the spine, and you're pressing back through the sits bones towards the back wall. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hands back to prayer position. Bend the knees gently. You're going to create a foundation on that right leg. Send that left leg back behind you. Want to do that one? Hips and shoulders are square. You can stay here. You can also take your arms up overhead, reaching towards the front part of the room. It's okay to wobble. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back up, and then this time see if you can lift your leg all the way back through. Lift your toes as high as your hips and even higher. Smile at the shake of the leg. And go ahead and release. Shake it out. This time let's create a base, a foundation on the left leg. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So keep your hands in prayer. Take the right leg back behind you. Pendulum the body forward, and then you can either keep your hips and shoulders square, press through the heel, and then take your arms up overhead. Reach, reach, reach through your fingertips. It's a balanced pose. It's okay to wobble. It's okay to fall. Have some fun with it. Building strength here. Hands back to prayer. Swing that right leg through all the way up. See if you can get your toes as high as your right hip. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Woo! Let's take our feet wide to the outside edges of the sticky mat. Take the arms up. Take your right hand, grab your left wrist. Inhale, lengthen, stick out your left hip. Use the strength of your right arm to pull your left side over to the right side. And then make the adjustment. Take your right armpit slightly more forward than the left. Look up towards the ceiling past your left bicep. Breathe slowly. Inhale, come back up. Let's switch sides. Reach, reach, reach. Take your left armpit slightly more forward than the right. Look up past your right bicep. Pull, pull, pull. And then come back to center. Release the hands. Take the feet about 5 inches away from one another. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the waist, fold forward. If you're still feeling tight behind the hamstrings, that's totally fine. You can keep your hands to your shins or the backs of your ankles. If you can bring your hands underneath of the soles of your feet, that's what we're going for. Maybe you can step on your fingers. Maybe you can step into the middle of your palms. Maybe you can even press down all the way on your palms, and you can massage your wrists with your big toes and your toes. You can bend your elbows and use the strength of your arms to draw the chest closer towards the thighs. Let the head hang heavy here. We're going to bend the knees. Go ahead and release the hands. If you have your hands on your shins, keep them there. Everybody else, we're going to take our first 2 fingers and our thumb and wrap them around our big toe. Inhale, press down into the soles of your feet. Lengthen through the arms. Look up. See if you can see where the floor and the wall in front of you come together. See if you can look up a quarter of the way up the wall, maybe halfway up the wall. Maybe you can even look up to where the wall in front of you meets the ceiling. Nice upper back bend here for 3, 2, 1. Release your hands. Going to take our feet a little bit wider. Bend the knees. Allow the head to come down. Take your arms out wide. Bend the elbows. Bend the knees. And then take your arms out wide. Reach them back around. Grab onto the side of your head so that your fingertips are facing back towards the back of your neck. Grab onto your head. Draw your head down towards the floor, and then begin to your degree to straighten your legs. Go ahead and lift your toes up off the mat. Give it a try. Come out, and then we'll walk our legs back. Everybody come into Parvo Konasana, mountain pose. Bend the right knee, send the left heel towards the earth. Straighten the right elbow. Take the right heel to the earth. Bend the left knee. Straighten the left elbow. Take both heels, press both heels evenly towards the earth. Go ahead and lift the left leg up off the mat. Keep the hips and shoulders square. Keep the big toe in alignment with the midline of the body. Press down evenly into all 4 corners of your palms. Lift the left leg a little bit higher. Press your chest back towards your thighs. Exhale, swing it on through in between your hands. Take your right heel to the earth. Your right toes are at about 2 p.m. Inhale the shoulders up and back as we lunge forward. Our hips and shoulders are facing the front of the room. We'll take our hands to prayer position and then take the arms up overhead. And again, no hard and fast rules. If you prefer to have your arms parallel, by all means. See if you can take your right arm slightly more forward than the left in the armpit. Reach through the fingertips. With your chin parallel to the earth, take your gaze in between your eyebrow center, Shambhali Mudra. Virabhadrasana 1 for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's inhale and transform the body. We're going to open up. Take your right leg back just a little bit. Open up into Virabhadrasana 2. The hips and the shoulders are now facing the side wall. Glance back to make sure that your right arm is parallel, is the same height as your left arm, and then turn the head and neck. Look down your left fingertips. Bend that knee, lunge a little bit more. Be strong like a warrior. Inhale, Avaya Virabhadrasana, fearless warrior. Take your right arm up and then lunge, lean forward past that front thigh. Keep your belly from collapsing on that front thigh and gaze towards the ceiling through your eyebrow center. Smile at that shake in the leg for 3, 2, 1. Release the left hand to the earth. Open up the shoulders, take the right arm up towards the sky. Maybe you'd like to walk your right foot back just a little bit so you can sink those hips towards the floor. Open up the shoulder. Perhaps you stay there. Perhaps you can take your right hand to the outside of your left hip. Maybe you have a bind even. See where you are in your practice today. Find what works for you. Open up that heart. Release your hands. Drop your knee. We're going to move to Kandanyasa. Heel toe, heel toe. Take your hands into push-up position. Bend the elbows. Notice how that left elbow, as you bring your weight forward, it's going to hook into that left inner thigh. Your right elbow, as you walk your right foot back some, it's going to find its placement into that right hip bone. Take the weight of the body forward and then begin to play with lifting one toe off of the mat, then the other. Find what works for you. Have some fun with it. Give it a few tries, and then let's everybody take a rest in Balasana. Take your hips towards your heels. Take your forehead towards the mat. Take a nice cleansing breath in through the nose. Exhale slowly. Let the breath return to normal. See if you can visualize your skeletal system as if you have an X-ray vision and you can see your skull and your spine, all the bones of your fingers and toes, your hips, pelvis. Wrapped around your bones are muscles that are filled with fluids, and there are nerves that touch each muscle. And the nerves come from our brain stem all the way down our spine, throughout our body. What an amazing organism that we are. Feeling so grateful for the musculatory system, the skeletal system, the nervous system, immunity, our circulatory system, our digestive system. What amazing, amazing beings we get to live. So very grateful for all these systems that work without us even thinking about it. You can hear my voice, the auditory nerve, the intellect and the mind hears my words, and you can make sense of it and then move the body how you want. So very grateful for these gifts. When you're ready, and only when you're ready, we're going to meet back up into Parvokonasana, mountain pose. And we'll do the same sequence, the warrior sequence on our solar side. We had just worked our lunar side, our feminine side, and now we're going to move to our solar side, our masculine side. So take the left heel towards the earth, bend the right knee, take the right leg up behind us, press through the heel. Lift it a little bit higher, straighten the elbows. Exhale, swing it on through. Take the left heel to the earth, the left toes are about 10 p.m. as we inhale, the shoulders up and back. Lunge into that front knee. Take the hands towards prayer. And then find your version of hands, whether they're in steeple or parallel. Move the hips and shoulders so that they're square facing the front of the room. Engage that left quadricep. We're taking good care of the knee, and then lunge forward. Move the left armpit slightly more forward than the right. Reach, reach, reach through the fingertips. Breathe. Inhale, let's open up, transform the body into Virabhadrasana 2. Open up the shoulders and the hips towards the side-facing wall. Lunge into that front leg. Glance back swiftly to make sure that the arms are even, and then reach through those fingertips. Turn the head and neck to gaze down into infinity. We are strong like warriors. Take the left arm up to meet the right, Avaya Virabhadrasana, fearless warrior. Lunge into that front leg. Keep the outside part of your left foot gripping the mat. Reach through the fingertips. Take your gaze up towards the ceiling through the eyebrow center. For 3, 2, 1. Release the right hand to the inside of the right foot. Open up the shoulders, stack those shoulders, take the left arm up towards the sky. Let the hips sink a little bit more and even walk those left toes back some if that helps. You can stay here, you can also bend that elbow. Find your bind and then open up that left shoulder, open up the heart. Look up towards the heavens. Release the hands, drop to the knee, heel toe, heel toe. Let's do Kandanyasa on this side. It's your journey, have some fun with it. Bend the elbows, find your hands in push-up position. Take your right elbow and hook it in that right inner thigh. Walk your left knee back and hook that left elbow into your left hip bone, and then begin to play with your strength, lifting your body up off the mat. Give it a few tries, release your wrists, press back into child's pose. And in this forward fold with your forehead resting on the mat, see if you can take your awareness to the beating of your heart again. As yogis, we refer to this as a sign of life. The heart's not breathing, the heart's not beating. There's not a presence of the soul. Our heart started beating at day 27 when we were in our mother's womb. And at the time, our heart was the size of a thumb. It's been beating every day consistently. It's grown into about the size of our fist. It governs the emotion of love. And so with each heartbeat, the auricles and the ventricles are pumping fluids and blood and oxygen, sending them to every cell of our body. through the veins and arteries, sending self-love throughout this beautiful body temple. When you're ready, and only when you're ready, we're going to meet back into Parvakonasana. This time, go ahead and lift your left leg. Bend the left knee. Let the ankle fall over to the right side. Look underneath your left armpit. Look up towards the ceiling. You should feel good. And then as you exhale, we're going to swing that leg to the outside part of our left palm. Walk the right foot back some. Get a nice lunge. Perhaps you can stay here. Perhaps you can come down onto your forearms. Breathing gently here in lizard. You can also come down to your knee. Find what works for you. Next, let's come onto the outside part of our left foot, the blade of the foot, and then we can come up and take our left hand and press onto the inside of our thigh. Press that leg away from us. Look up over our left shoulder towards the ceiling. Breathe slowly. If you haven't already, drop that right knee. You can bend that right foot. You can take your left hand and grab onto your ankle or your foot and pull that foot closer towards your groin. Look up over your left shoulder. Breathe. Go ahead and release. Come back up onto your palms, and then we're going to heel toe our left foot over, finding our pigeon. We're going to first go into proud pigeon. So walk your right knee back, sit tall. The key to the pose is the back knee. Take your hands to the sides of your hips and then sink the pelvis down. And take your gaze up towards the heavens. You can bend your right knee, grab onto your ankle, pull the foot closer towards your body. Go ahead and release. Let's come into twisted pigeon. So we'll take our right hand to our right thigh or out in front of you. Find what works for you. Inhale, lengthen. Take your left hand over towards the back of the right thigh. Exhale, twist your head and neck, look past your left shoulder. Breathe normally. Exhale, release, come back to center. Perhaps your leg is happy here. Perhaps you'd like to make some adjustments so that you can move your foot up just a few inches so you can take your foot into 90 degrees. We're going to inhale, open up the chest, and then exhale, come into sleeping pigeon. Fold that chest over the front leg. Inhale, walk our hands back. Tuck the back right toes as we exhale. Send the left leg back. Shake out the left leg how it feels good for you. Maybe you'd like to make X's and O's with your straight leg. Take your left heel towards the earth. Bend your right knee. Inhale the right leg up. Stack the hips and let the right knee bend. Look underneath your right armpit towards the ceiling. As you exhale, swing the leg through. Oh, sorry. Swing the right foot out to the outside of the right palm. Here we are in lizard. Perhaps you can stay up on your palms. Perhaps you can come down onto your forearms. Make sure you're breathing here. Find a smile on your face. And if it's hard to smile, back off some. Come to the outside blade of your right foot. Take your right hand and press into that right thigh. You can drop down onto your left knee if that's supportive. Go ahead and drop that left knee. Bend the knee. Grab onto the foot or the ankle. Look over your right shoulder towards the heavens. Go ahead and release your foot. Bring the sole of your foot back to the mat. And then heel toe. Walk your right foot over. So you bend the knee. And then come to sit. Find your pigeon. We're going to do proud pigeon first. So roll the shoulders up and back. Sit tall. Really feel the pelvis come down towards the floor. Take your gaze, lift your heart up. Take your gaze back on the ceiling. And then go ahead and bend that left knee. Maybe you can grab your foot or your ankle. Maybe you can take your foot into the crease of your elbow. Go ahead and release. Let's come into twisted pigeon. So we'll take our left hand to our left thigh or out in front. Take your right hand onto your left thigh. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist the head and neck, look over the right shoulder. Release the spine. Make some adjustments. Maybe your knee is completely happy here. Maybe you'd like to come into a full 90 degrees. Open up the shoulders, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Long, deep inhalations. Pause. Slow, complete exhalations. Pause. Inhale, new life. Pause. Exhale, let go. Pause. Let your breath return to normal. We'll inhale our hands back to the mat. Tuck the toes. Exhale, send the right leg back. Shake it out how it feels good for you. Maybe you'd like to make X's and O's. From Parvokonasana, we're going to come into squats pose. Take the hands into prayer. Take your right hand to the floor, keeping your elbow inside of your right knee. Your hands at about 2 p.m. Inhale the left arm up. You can stay here. You can also reach around and find a bind. Come back to center. Take the left hand, keep the left shoulder on the inside of that knee. Take the right arm up. Look past those fingers. You can stay there. You can also bend that left elbow, keep it in front of the knee. Reach around and find your bind. Open up that right shoulder, look up. Release, come back to center. Let's take our hands to the mat. And with our knees right there and our triceps, we can begin to lift our hips up off the ground and see how we're preparing ourselves for crow pose. So to your degree, have some fun with this. Lift your hips up and then bring the weight of the body forward and then begin to play with making shelves with those arms. Bring them into 90 degrees and then begin to play with lifting one toe, then the other. You can go from here straight into your tripod headstand if you have your headstand practice in the middle of the room. If you do not, no worries, just play with your crow. Give it a few tries. If you're in your headstand, come out gracefully. And then as we move into our inversion practice, if you have a headstand practice safely in the middle of the room, feel free to do any variation that you wish, whether you want to do a tripod headstand, traditional headstand. If you want to do it, if you have a headstand practice safely at the wall, by all means, do that as well. If you have a baggy shirt, make sure to tuck it in your shorts like Evan showed. What we're going to do next, for the rest of us, we're going to do Sharvangasana. Queen pose, shoulder stand. So we'll lay flat on the mat and then take the feet up overhead with support from your hands. Your elbows are in close. Your hands are supporting your low back, your fingertips pointing towards your feet. Your big toes are together. Your chin is towards your chest and your gaze is in between your big toes. You're breathing slowly. Every organ in your body is smiling right now as it receives an internal wash. We've turned everything upside down and all the fluids based on this beautiful gravitational pull that we get to live with. Every organ is smiling. So whether you're here or in headstand position, let's everybody take our legs wide. Let's bring the feet back together. Let's take the left foot forward. Bring the left foot back up, bring the right foot overhead. Reach, reach, reach. Bring your right foot back overhead. If you're in headstand position, do any variation that you'd like. If you're in queen, shoulder stand, let's bring both legs overhead towards the floor. It's okay if the feet don't touch. If the feet do touch, you have the privilege to release your hands from the low back and interlace your hands and draw your hands down towards the mat. Yogi choice. Bring the hands back to the mat, back to the low back. We're going to bend the knees. We're going to come out of this super slowly. Roll down one vertebrae at a time. If you're in headstand, coming down, how slow can you go? Extend the legs out. Take your arms to your side for a mini Shavasana, corpse pose. Let the head and neck rock from side to side. and back to center a couple times. And let's come into fish pose to further counter the stress from the inversion practice. So bringing our heels together, or big toes together. Take your hands, your palms flat along your sides. I like to put them underneath of my bum. Inhale, come up on the elbows, lift the chest and head, and then take the top of the head back to the mat. Take the big toes, point them down and away from you. And then take your lower set of teeth past your upper set of teeth. These are your fish scales. Breathe slowly through your nose. Go ahead and release your head back to the earth. Extend your legs and your arms. And again, let the head and neck rock from side to side and back to center a couple times. We're going to bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet to the earth. We're going to come into bridge pose. So keeping the knees, squeezing them towards one another. The hands are long alongside the ribs. Take the palms down. Inhale, press into the feet. Lift the hips towards the heavens. Reach those fingertips towards your toes. The chin is in towards your chest. Lift your hips a little bit higher. Perhaps you can stay here. Perhaps you want to take your arms up over your head and go into the full expression of this, which would be Chakrasana, wheel pose. Go ahead and come down one vertebrae at a time. Extend the legs. Reach the arms up overhead. Take your left hand to your right wrist. Stretch one side of the body. Take your right hand to your left wrist. Stretch the other side of the body. Reach through your fingers and your toes. Exhale. Sit on up. Let's take the legs wide. Take your right hand in the front part. Take your left hand back behind you. Lift and then recenter. The toes are up towards the ceiling. Inhale the arms up. Turn towards your left foot, and as you exhale, lean over the left leg. Maybe you can bring your hands to your shin. Maybe you can bring them all the way to your feet. Tuck your chin in towards your chest and let the top of the head grow towards the top of the foot. Inhale, come back up to center. Turn towards the other leg. As you exhale, fold forward over that right leg. To your degree. Inhale, come back to center. Reach through those fingertips. Exhale, bring the chest forward. You can grab onto your ankles, maybe your big toes. Reach your chest towards the floor. Maybe you can even bring your chin towards the floor. Breathe slowly. Come back up. Take your hands underneath your knees. Help your legs come back towards center. Bend the knees, tuck the chin, take a nice cleansing breath in through the nose. Exhale slowly. Let's do our final twist. So take the legs out in front. We'll take the right hand as we Rotate the body. Take the right hand past the midline of the body onto the mat behind you. Perhaps you can come down onto your forearm. Take your left fingertips to your outside right thigh or onto the mat. Take your gaze over your right shoulder. Your toes are up towards the ceiling. You're breathing slowly. Inhale, come back to center. As we exhale, take the left hand just past the midline, down on the mat behind you. Perhaps you can come to your forearm. Turn your head and neck, look as far as you can past your left shoulder. Take your gaze as far back as you can. Your toes are pointing up towards the sky. Inhale, come back up. Bring the feet together, the knees together. Come to balance on your tailbone. Take the toes up, coming into Navasana, boat pose. Really engage that core, really strengthen that spine. Roll the shoulders up and back. Take the palms out to your sides. Your gaze is in between your big toes. And breathing slowly. Kapalabhati. For 3, 2, and 1. Let's release and everybody spin 180 degrees. Do what you need to get comfortable. If it's cold and you'd like to bring a blanket, perhaps you have an eye pillow, remove the hair bun. Let your legs fall out to the side. Your arms are about 6 to 8 inches from your hips, palms facing up. I'm going to walk us through an active relaxation. So go ahead and lift your right leg up off the mat 2 inches. Tighten the calf, flex the toes, point, flex, and flop. Lift your left leg up off the mat, tighten the calf, point, flex, flop. Squeeze your buttocks at the same time. Draw your belly button down towards the spine. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then relax your entire pelvis and hips. Inhale up the side ribs. Bring that breath all the way up to your chest. Exhale, open the mouth, let out a nice sigh. Let the breath return to normal. Make a fist with your left hand, lift it up 2 inches up off the mat, and let it flop. Make a fist with your right hand, lift it 2 inches up off the mat, squeeze, and let it flop. Keeping the back of the head on the mat, draw your chin into your chest, chin into your chest, chin into your chest, let it relax. Inhale, draw the breath all the way up to your jaw. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Open up the mouth, squeeze, let out the tongue. Lion's breath. Relax the tongue and mouth. Let the breath return to normal. Inhale, draw the awareness up to your forehead, your eyes. Squeeze every hair on your head. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And relax. Let the head and neck rock from side to side. Back to center. Return your awareness to that space on the upper lip where the breath moves in and out of the nostrils. This time, see if you can remain the observer, doing nothing to change anything, simply witness. Next, with your mind's eye, take your awareness to your belly button, your navel center. And notice with each breath, there's an inhale, navel up, Exhale, navel down. With your mind's eye, we're going to count backwards from 10 to 1 at your pace. Inhale, navel up, 10. Exhale, navel down, 10. Inhale, navel up, 9. Exhale, navel down, 9. Inhale, navel up, 8. Exhale, navel down, 8. All the way to 1. Go ahead and release the count. Allow yourself to fully relax. Just let yourself be. If you find that your mind is active, we do these active relaxations because the yogis believe that a concentrated mind is a relaxed mind. So if you find that your mind is still active, go ahead and take your awareness, your inner gaze to your third eye as you mentally chant over and over again inside of yourself. Om. Begin to bring your awareness back into the physical, allowing the breath to grow big in the body, feeling the expansion as you lengthen the breath. Taking your thumb and touching each fingertip. Wiggle your toes. When you're ready, inhale your arms up over your head. Stretch into this new moment. Eventually, we're going to all roll over onto our right side. You can use your right arm as a pillow. And bring your left hand onto your abdomen. And taking a few moments to reflect on your mind, body, spirit, organism. Acknowledging how our postures, our practice, our focus has brought more evenness to our shoulders, our hips, our joints, our bones and muscles. It's also brought some relaxation to the mind, some calm to the spirit. Give yourself some appreciation for doing your practice today. See if we can notice out in the world that people notice something's a little different. nice smile. Smile on the face. So when you're ready, and only when you're ready, we'll take that left palm and we'll press it into the earth to help lift our body upright, and we'll return to a comfortable seated position, facing forward just like we began. Bring your hands to prayer position at the heart. Bow. Sending appreciation to you. Namaste. Mahalo and Aloha. That means thank you very much. Here in Hawaii, it's a gorgeous summer, rainy day. What a blessing. You can join us in our living room and practice this practice with us. We love this practice. It works. And it works when we do it consistently. So why don't you hop back on. We'll be teaching again live here on Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. We're changing up our summer schedule here. So we want to practice with you. Please leave us a note. Leave a comment. Let us know if you liked something, if you'd like more of something else. As well, subscribe. That helps us. We'd love to grow with you here. Have a beautiful day. Cyber Ohana. Ohana means family. Aloha.